It doesn't take a crisis to break you. Sometimes it's the small, invisible moments that cut the deepest. A pause before someone answers, a look that lingers too long, a message that never comes. And suddenly your whole body tightens, your mind spins, and the day feels hijacked, not by war, but by one unprocessed feeling. This is the reality most people live with, calm on the outside, chaos behind the eyes. Not because they are weak, but because no one ever taught them emotional armor. And yet some walk through storms untouched, not because they do not feel, but because they have trained themselves to think without being controlled. The Stoics mastered this art. They did not fight emotion. They observed it, dissected it. The yin moved through it with clarity. Epictetus said it plainly. It's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about them. That truth changes everything. You do not have to react to every jab. You do not have to carry every feeling just because it knocks. In this video, you will discover 7 Stoic laws to help you master your emotions, not to become numb, but to become unshakable, to lead your mind, not follow it. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where your story matters. Share your experience or your biggest struggle below. Every comment you leave is a gift. Here, your voice matters. We read with care, answer with heart, and treat your journey as part of our own. This is more than a channel. It is a circle of strength. Drop a comment. I train my emotions, not obey them. Let's begin. 1. Don't pick up the arrow. What if the insult isn't the problem? What if the real problem is the part of you that needs to be respected, needs to be understood, needs to win? Because the moment someone disrespects you, it isn't their words that take your peace. It's your ego reaching out like a hungry hand, begging the world to confirm your worth. And that is the trap. The chest tightens, pride rises. Your instincts scream to defend yourself, to fight back, to prove them wrong. But here's the Stoic truth. The battle you think you're fighting with them is actually a battle inside you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." That line is a sword. It cuts through the illusion, because the weight of the arrow isn't in the arrow, it's in your decision to carry it. Most people take everything personally, because they build their identity on fragile ground. If someone rejects their idea, they feel worthless. If someone questions their worth, they crumble. They hand strangers the keys to their peace, then wonder why they feel powerless. The Stoic habit, the one that separates the unshakable from the easily broken, is to detach the ego from the moment. Not because it's easy, but because it's the only way to stay free. When someone lashes out, it says more about the storm inside them than it does about your value. They are handing you their chaos, but you don't have to accept it. Imagine a man walking through a crowded marketplace. A stranger spits cruel words at him, accusing him of things he never did. His heart pounds. His pride urges him to shout back. But then he remembers. The insult is not his burden unless he decides to carry it. So he pauses. He breathes. He sees the other man's anger for what it truly is, a reflection of suffering. Then he chooses silence and keeps walking. People stare, expecting fire, but what they witness is calm. And in that calm, they recognize who truly holds power. That space between the arrow being fired and your decision to pick it up. That is where freedom lives. When you train yourself not to take everything personally, you stop letting strangers write the story of who you are. You no longer shrink when mocked, nor explode when tested. You observe, you reflect, then you respond not from wounded pride, but from reason. That choice, repeated again and again, becomes quiet armor nothing can pierce. This is not an escape, it is command over yourself. Try this. The next time you feel disrespected, don't rush to defend. Pause for 5 seconds and ask, is this really about me or about the pain they carry? Then ask the harder one, if I don't react, what do I lose? Most of the time, you lose nothing except your addiction to being right. Write the moment down after it happens. What triggered you, what story your ego wanted to tell, and what changed when you stayed still. You'll feel it at first, that discomfort, like withdrawal, but then comes the shift. Less heat, less noise, more control. Your words become fewer but heavier. Your presence becomes calm enough to expose others' chaos without you saying a single thing. At Stoic Daily, we believe strength isn't in reaction, it's in restraint. Comment below, I no longer carry what isn't mine. What's one moment this week where you will practice that pause? 2. Kill the urge to react fast. If a moment of silence could save you from a year of regret, why do you still rush? That's the question most people never ask themselves. Emotions don't ruin lives. Emotional speed does. That split-second reply, that slammed door, that message sent in rage. 5 minutes later, you're calm. But the damage? It's done. Not because you felt, but because you moved too fast to think. Why do we move so fast when emotions rise? Because the brain interprets emotional intensity as a signal of danger. A perceived insult is treated like a physical threat. The same surge of cortisol and adrenaline that once helped us outrun predators now gets triggered by a comment on a screen. Your body reacts before your mind even votes. The Stoics saw this danger long before modern psychology gave it a name. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, make it your habit to consider that men do wrong involuntarily. Slowing down isn't a weakness, it's wisdom. It's the pause that reveals what's real and what's just noise. Imagine a soldier insulted in public. His body tightens, fists ready, but instead of striking, he pauses. Not because he's afraid, but because he's trained. An hour later, he feels nothing. The insult evaporated and his dignity untouched. That's what the pause gives you, clarity over chaos. Try this. The next time you feel your pulse spike, don't react. Set a timer, 90 seconds, breathe. Let the adrenaline move through your body like a wave passing through water. Then ask, what deserves my energy right now, this emotion or my peace? You'll be surprised how often the urgency fades, and with it, the impulse to destroy what you care about most. Most arguments are traps. Most reactions are chains. But the pause is a sword. It cuts through the moment and gives you a choice. Epictetus said, no one is free who is not master of himself. That mastery isn't won in grand battles. It's earned one pause at a time. At Stoic Daily, we believe the strongest voice is the one that waits. Comment below. I respond after the noise clears. What's one situation this week you'll handle in slow motion? 3. Stop explaining yourself. What if needing to explain yourself is the very thing stealing your peace? Most people think it's a misunderstanding that hurts them, but look closer. It's not their opinion that drains you. It's the part of you that still hopes they'll get it. The part of you that believes your worth depends on how well you justify your choices. That need is old. It was planted the first time you were misunderstood and punished for it. And ever since, you've been trying to control how others see you, hoping that if you explain just enough, you won't feel that sting again. But here's the truth. Some people don't want to understand you. They want to see you unravel. And every word you give them becomes a thread they pull. You explain, they twist, you clarify, they doubt. You open up, they weaponize your honesty. That's when the Stoics stepped back. Marcus Aurelius said it best, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That one line holds everything. You don't owe the world a defense. You owe yourself a life lived by principle. That includes walking away when someone isn't listening to learn, but to find cracks. Think about it. How many times have you poured your heart into justifying a boundary, a dream, a delay, only to be met with cold eyes and a sharper question? It feels like trying to pour water into a broken jar. No matter how much you give, it never fills. That's when the shift happens. Not in them, but in you. You begin to understand. Silence is not weakness. It's choosing not to perform for someone who only came to watch you fall. Imagine this, a sculptor working silently in his studio. Outside, the villagers whisper. He's lost it, he's slow, he's not who he used to be. But the sculptor doesn't answer. He shapes, he refines. And when the masterpiece is revealed, silence falls because some truths speak loudest when you don't explain them. Try this. The next time you feel misunderstood, stop. Ask yourself, am I explaining to be seen or because I fear being misjudged? If it's fear, pause. Write down what you know to be true about yourself. Then act from that place, not to convince, but to continue. Over time, your silence becomes self-trust, and your peace becomes proof. Let them misunderstand. Let them create their own story. If they truly knew your heart, they wouldn't need an explanation. And if they don't care to know it, no explanation will ever be enough. You don't owe anyone subtitles to your soul. At Stoic Daily, we believe your life is your loudest answer. Comment below. I let my actions speak for me. What's one place this week you'll protect your energy instead of proving your worth? 4. Train for disrespect before it hits. Peace isn't natural. Training is. Those who expect kindness from everyone are the first to fall when chaos speaks. Stoics don't prepare for comfort. They rehearse for turmoil. That's why they remain unmoved when others try to shake them. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He began each day with clarity, not illusion. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsociable. To modern ears, it may sound grim, but to him, it was armor. Because the moment disrespect arrives, and it always will, you'll either take it personally and flinch, or you'll meet it like someone who saw it coming. Most people aren't broken by cruelty. They're damaged by surprise, by the false hope that everyone will play fair. Imagine this. You speak from the heart. Someone rolls their eyes. A cold silence follows. Your ego wants to snap back, but your mind is steady. You expected this. You breathe. You continue. And that, one moment your restraint, your poise, becomes the loudest thing in the room. That's real power. Not control over others, but control over your need to react. This is what Stoic training looks like. Each time you rehearse stillness before the insult lands, each time you choose calm over outrage, you're building emotional armor, not to hide behind, but to move through the world untouched by petty chaos. Try this. For the next 3 days, assume disrespect is coming your way. Expect it from a stranger, a friend, even from within. And when it shows up, don't resist. Recognize it. Say to yourself, this is my drill. Breathe, stay still, then respond, not to win, but to stay centered. At the end of the day, write what happened, where you felt the pull to react, and where you held the line. This is the quiet discipline most never build, and the strength that makes you untouchable. At Stoic Daily, we believe the strongest people aren't those who silence the world. They're the ones who don't. Let it shake them. Comment below. I train for storms, not comfort. What's one moment this week where you'll expect the hit and stay calm anyway? 5. Don't chase relief. Train your mind to think better. You don't need to feel better. You need to think better. That's the part most people miss. When pain hits, heartbreak, anxiety, disappointment, our first move is escape. A video, a scroll, a snack, a drink, something to push the feeling away. And maybe it works for a moment, but the silence returns. And this time, it feels heavier than before. Why? Because you treated the symptom, not the cause. Marcus Aurelius said it best: very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The Stoics weren't anti-emotion. They knew emotion is a wave, and the mind is the ship. Feelings rise and fall, but thought is what carries you. Train the boat, and no wave can drown you. Picture this: a friend betrays you, rage flares, sadness creeps in. You ask, why do I feel like this? The Stoic doesn't run, he stops. He asks, what thought created this feeling? And suddenly, it's clear. The pain didn't come from the betrayal. It came from the belief they were supposed to stay. I needed them to feel whole. That belief, not the event, created the storm. This is how you reclaim power. Every emotion is a signal, but it's your thoughts that steer. If you're angry, maybe you expected more than reality could give. If you're anxious, perhaps you're living in futures that haven't happened. If you're heartbroken, maybe you thought happiness lived in someone else's hands. It doesn't. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How much pain in your life is from thoughts you never challenged? How many beliefs are you rehearsing that were never true? Try this. The next time you feel overwhelmed, pause. Sit with the emotion. Don't numb it, don't judge it, name it, then trace it. What belief gave birth to this feeling? Write it down. Then ask, is this thought true or just loud? That one question can shrink a storm. Over time, your emotions won't need fixing because your thoughts will stop creating the flood. At Stoic Daily, we believe a calm mind is trained, not gifted. Comment below, I train my thoughts, not chase emotions. What's one belief you'll challenge this week? 6. Let the feeling pass. Don't let it rewrite your story. Why do we treat every heavy feeling like it's a crisis? You wake up with a knot in your stomach, fog in your mind, tightness in your chest, and instantly the story begins. I'm failing, something must be wrong with me. What if today collapses? But what if none of that is true? What if it's just a passing wave, and you're the one turning it into a storm? Epictetus said it clearly. It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. The same is true of emotion. Most pain doesn't come from the feeling itself. It comes from the meaning we attach to it. A little sadness becomes I'm broken. A moment of tension becomes I'm not enough. But the Stoics knew that feelings are clouds. You are the sky. Let them pass. Imagine a young man sitting alone at night. He feels restless, hollow. His mind spirals. I'm behind in life. I'm a disappointment. But what if he paused and said, I feel uneasy tonight, that's all. No storyline, no identity crisis, just a moment, passing like weather. That's not detachment, that's discipline. Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We rehearse suffering before it arrives. We convince ourselves that every mood is a message, but most of the time it's just the body processing energy, stress, fatigue, or change. You don't need to decode every emotion. You need to stop letting it hold the pen. Try this. The next time a wave of emotion hits, pause. Don't suppress it. Don't chase it. Name it. I feel anxious. I feel low. Then say, but this doesn't define me. Write down the first story your mind tries to attach. Then ask, is this feeling fact or just noise? With practice, the story quiets. The cloud passes. You stay still. At Stoic Daily, we believe emotional strength isn't about silence. It's about sovereignty. Comment, I feel, but I don't become the feeling. What's one emotion this week you'll let pass without giving it a title? 7. Step into silence. Lean into discomfort. When was the last time you sat in total silence without reaching for something? No phone, no playlist, no distractions, just you and your breath. Most people call that boredom. The Stoics called it training because silence and discomfort aren't threats. They're the gym where resilience is built. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show a person's character." He didn't mean pain is punishment. He suggested that a challenge is a mirror, and when you avoid discomfort, you miss the chance to see what you're truly made of. That's why the Stoics didn't wait for adversity to train them. They stepped toward it on purpose. Imagine sitting alone in a room, no screen, no noise, just breath. At first, the thoughts scream, regret, fear, self-doubt. But if you stay, if you breathe through the chaos, something happens. Beneath the noise, truth emerges of what you want, what you feel, what you fear. That is what silence gives you. The strength to face yourself without flinching. Seneca would sleep on the floor, eat plain food, and rehearse poverty, not for drama, for discipline. Because once you've tasted discomfort by choice, it loses the power to break you by surprise. And Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, people will be arrogant, ungrateful, deceitful, and that is not a reason to despair, it's a reason to prepare. Try this. Start with 10 minutes of silence each day. No phone, no input, just breathe. Let your mind scream if it wants. Stay anyway. Then do one uncomfortable thing. Take a cold shower. Speak the hard truth. Say no when it feels risky. Sit with hunger for 30 minutes before eating. Each act is a rep. Each moment rewires you, and afterward ask, what did I just prove to myself? At Stoic Daily, we believe peace isn't found in comfort. It's built in the spaces most people run from. Comment below, I train in silence. I grow in discomfort. What's one uncomfortable thing you'll do on purpose this week? The storm reveals your stillness. Real power doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't beg to be seen. It's the kind of strength you carry in silence, the kind that's been trained in discomfort, sharpened in reflection, and proven in the moments no one else saw. You don't master life by controlling what happens. You master it by mastering yourself, by becoming the one who doesn't flinch when chaos rises, the one who responds, not reacts, who holds their ground without needing applause, who stays steady not because life is easy, but because their center is strong. Let the world race toward recognition. You choose restraint. Let the noise pull others. You move by principle. This is what inner mastery looks like. It doesn't begin with perfection. It starts with one decision: to stay calm when your old self would have panicked. At Stoic Philosophy Daily, we believe calm is a power that can't be taken. It can only be built. Comment below, calm power. Let it be your quiet promise. Subscribe to keep walking this path. Share this with someone whose storm is loud right now. Because the next lesson we walk through will take your stillness even deeper. Every storm doesn't come to destroy you. Some come to prove that you've already become the kind of person nothing can shake.
If you're seeking more, discover the full path on my channel, Stoic Philosophy Daily.